so much of the sex is filmed from the female perspective. Like we are watching how we would like to be touched or how we would like to have sex. It's an intimacy and a romance, but also quite physical, and it is female-centered.
I love that. That's a deliberate decision by Shondaland. Obviously, most of the viewers are women, but I think we all admit that a lot of our husbands and boyfriends will sit and watch Bridgerton too. But it's a decision that they make to film through the female gaze, and it's actually a technical choice, not just an artistic choice. So Julianne Robinson is an amazing director. She's directed all seasons of Bridgerton and a lot of things for Shondaland. She instructed the camera operators to focus specifically, for example, with Daphne and the Duke, on Daphne's reaction and pleasure rather than his body or his power sort of in isolation. So you actually see how she's experiencing the moment more so than just the two of them together. I think lots of sex scenes are both of them together. But now that you know that, and if you watch Bridgerton back, you actually see how a woman is experiencing every scene, which is amazing. The camera really lingers on the woman's face, her hands, forcing the audience to sort of experience the scene through her body.
That's actually quite beautiful, because when I think about it, you are watching someone lose their virginity and they do it so delicately, because that is exciting, but it is a stressful moment sometimes. And I think they handled that so beautifully.
Yeah, I agree. Like when Colin took Penelope's virginity in their apartment and he said, you know, this is going to hurt, which is sort of cringy, I know, but it's actually really beautiful how it was filmed.
Yeah. They're holding that weight as filmmakers as well to what that moment would be. And they do talk about filming the sex scenes quite a lot on the press junket. Like a lot of people ask those questions because they go, you're so close.
Yeah.
How are you covered? And Luke Thompson does talk about what is actually covered in those scenes.
Yeah, so they're never skin to skin in intimate areas in any of these shows, obviously. They wear modesty garments and they're very unattractive apparently, and skin coloured and like what you wear to get spray tanned, I imagine, like pouches. Yeren has actually spoken out about when Luke walked out of the lake. God bless him for walking out of the lake. She said that his modesty pouch looked like a sick bag. Which I really enjoy. And here's a fun fact. Obviously, that scene they had to film from so many different angles, right? Lots of different cameras. So they were filming the scene where Sophie peeks out from behind the tree and looks shocked. Apparently, in one of those, she didn't know that Luke would be standing there wearing nothing but his sick bag. So her actual look of shock is what Luke thinks they might have used in the final cut.
Oh, my God.
I mean, shock wouldn't be what was on my face. I'll tell you that right now.
With a sick bag, I'm like, at that point, would you just rather just
show
bear it all?
Yes.
Bear it all. Now, everyone has obviously been quite consumed by the staircase scene, but a lot of people are also talking about the lake scene, obviously.
Yeah.
As they should.
Truly, I am a little bit upset because everyone's so angry about the staircase scene that I think it's overshadowing the beauty of that lake scene, because it was beautiful and I absolutely adored it. What is quite interesting is that Luke was speaking about how cold the water was, the coldest water that he has ever been in, and that he felt like he was going to die.
What a way to go.
Because you're having to do it so many times. It's like, all right, back in the water.
And that he said that he would just have to sit there, like in the water, because he wouldn't want to get in and out to ruin people's like setup shots and stuff. So he'd just stand there. And it was in September, so it was quite cold. But what's also really nice is that the days surrounding the lake scene, it was raining. And then on the day that they had the lake scene in the like shoot schedule, the sun suddenly came out and it was really beautiful. And I was like, of course it did. For that scene, God even knew that it was going to be worth it. Like it was so good.
Do you know that's the second sexy scene we've seen in that lake? Because that's the same lake they filmed Johnny Bailey falling into in front of Kate, where his shirt clung to his body. So thank you to that lake.
Yeah. That's
that
so
lake,
interesting.
The unsung hero of Bridgerton is that body of water.
Oh, I love that.
I'm interested that Luke didn't have a stand-in. So a lot of the time in these scenes, they'll have a stand-in who's the exact height, and they have to be the exact height for camera angles and for lighting. And they'll go and stand in there, get them to set up, do all the things, and they'll be like, all right, travel the actor in, and they'll travel them in and then quickly shoot like that. So I'm surprised that he was forced to just
because he's such a good guy, I think.
Yeah.
He would probably offer.
Johnny Bailey actually talks, I'm using your name for him, Johnny Bailey. He talks about filming his sex scenes so he could get the movement of his pelvis. He laid on a beach ball.
Well, in this series they used a semi-deflated netball.
Yeah.
So what they need is cushioning between genital areas. The thing about a deflated ball is that it offers a bit of bounce, a bit of give. So that's why they use it. I mean, it's so unbelievably unsexy.
Yeah.
But this is what intimacy coordinators have done to filming these sex scenes. They go, how do we make this more realistic and safe and consensual for all of the actors? And intimacy coordinators weren't a thing until the Me Too movement.
Yes.
So it was about not putting people in situations with high-up executives or high-up directors, mainly men who could force people to do things for the sake of a shot, or just people being in those unequal power dynamics and going, oh, yes, I'll do that, that's fine, even doing things that they were completely uncomfortable with.
Well, they've always had people coordinating fight scenes. You would never send someone in and say, just fight for the camera. They always choreographed them beautifully. So I can't believe it took so long to choreograph a love scene.
That's so true.
It was considered quite a niche or experimental job on set until the Me Too movement, which I thought is incredible.
Yeah.
And then that's only 2017, so we're still in the first decade of that role. And now all shows, if they have a sex scene, it's kind of required to have an intimacy coordinator. The first show that did it was HBO's The Deuce, which is Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh, yes.
James Franco, and it was actually one of the actors, Emily Mead, who talked about getting an intimacy coordinator to help find her agency in those sex scenes. And then it set a precedent. So then in major productions, Normal People, Sex Education, Euphoria, and Bridgerton, they're all credited as publicly using intimacy coordinators at the beginning.
Love that.
It's incredible.
Yeah, so intimacy coordinators work with them from really early on because they are the same as movement coaches. And a lot of them were movement coaches, Pilates teachers, personal trainers, that sort of thing, who understand the human body. But they need to really earn the trust of the actors very early on because they are there for those unbelievably vulnerable moments.
Luke Thompson actually does talk about using the intimacy coordinators on set.
I don't understand the argument that intimacy coordinators sort of ruin some kind of spontaneity. I think it's the opposite. I think they facilitate it because they give you the framework and they give you the triangulation that's there as a security. Obviously, if people really, really trust each other and they want to then fine. But it's really important to have, the option, because what feels good doesn't necessarily look good. It's true for not just sex scenes. You need an outside eye. And to be honest, in my previous experience, occasionally, directors can be a bit awkward about it. And then you're the one that's left having to do it. And actually, it's honouring the fact that those scenes are story beats and they're dances. And particularly in Bridgerton, I think it's not just a sex scene in a staircase. It's this whole upstairs, downstairs thing. It does feel like you're doing something that it has meaning.
She's there to mediate everything and make sure we feel safe. And also we had built a lot of trust at that point, so that also made it so much easier.
Georgie, is there anything that we know about Bridgerton specifically on set, how they're managing all of this?
Well, Lizzie Talbot is the intimacy coordinator. She's been the intimacy coordinator for all 4 seasons. One thing that I thought was very funny is you need a safe word. You need a safe word. It can't be something that could be in the script like stop. Lizzie Talbot's on the set of Bridgerton was chickens.
And there's nothing hot about that.
No. That would absolutely kill the mood.
Yes, 100%.
Chickens is still a bit risky though. They all had chickens in their backyards probably.
Like,
Lizzie, if you're listening, please change the word.
What if they're in the middle of
thoughts.
something and she might look out and be like, oh, there's some chickens,